Tonight, a comedian died in New York. Someone threw him out of a window, and when he hit the sidewalk, his head was driven up into his stomach. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. But me. You want to know how bad things have gotten in New York? By the way, the show is sponsored by ExpressVPN. Help yourself out with that first link in the description. The things that have been going on with the New York Rangers, baby. This team has been bad. This team has been getting lackluster performances from throughout the lineup, and you have this man right here that is potentially suffering the worst fate possible. Okay, maybe not the absolute worst fate possible, but things are getting pretty bad for the Rangers, and in particular Zac Jones, as indicated by some comments that I made earlier in the media that have gotten fans all up in arms. Not against Jones, but against the Rangers themselves. You see, Zac Jones, when I think about this guy, I always revert back to his draft-eligible year. He's October-born, 2000, 24 years old, Richmond, Virginia, USA, 5'11", 190-pound left-handed defenseman drafted by New York in the 2019 third round. I, for one, thought that this was a really strong pickup in that spot, because in 2019, Zac Jones, as a draft-eligible, was a near point-per-game guy with the Tri-City Storm in the USHL. This is junior hockey in the US. He was under a point per game. He was really strong as an offensive puck mover, and he was ranked to go a little bit around the range that he went. I mean, he went in that 68th overall spot. Some outlets had him a tad higher, some outlets had him a tad lower, but I was always on the more optimistic side of Zac Jones and his game. He eventually went over to UMass in the NCAA, did some pretty good things over there, and then spent some time developing in the Hartford Wolfpack organization in the American Hockey League. He posted up to 30-plus point seasons and 50 games played in his, his 21, 22-year-old year and his 22, 23-year-old year, but eventually he found himself on the New York Rangers later on in his career. 23-24 saw Zac Jones put up 9 points in 31 games. This season, he's got 8 points in 26 games. However, he has been taken out for at least 10 games in the lineup so far, and things aren't really looking all too great if you consider the timeline as to what the Rangers are doing. Lo and behold, the last time Zac Jones has played a game with the Rangers was December 23rd, 2024. So this guy literally hasn't played a game since last year. Okay, maybe that was kind of old. It's only been 2 days in 2025, but maybe those 2024 jokes are a tad old already. Anyways, the reason we are talking about Zac Jones and the damning comments that he had made towards the New York Rangers is because of this interview done with Larry Brooks of the New York Post. This was posted yesterday. The Rangers' Zac Jones feels like he is rotting away after losing his roster spot. It effing sucks. Now, New York Post, this article is behind a paywall. You can actually look at it for free. I don't have it for free, so I'm instead going to leave a link in the description to this article. You could read it yourself if you have the Post. However, this article on thescore.com is not behind a paywall. So we're going to go out there and look at Sean O'Leary's latest article to get some of the quotes and the juiciness within. Because when it comes to New York Rangers defenseman Zac Jones, he has now voiced his strong feelings about being a frequent healthy scratch over his club's prolonged losing skid. It effing sucks, he told Larry Brooks of the New York Post. It effing sucks. Jones will sit for the 5th time in 6 games when the Rangers host the Boston Bruins on Thursday, so later today. He was a regular in the lineup before New York acquired blue liners Will Borgen and Urho Vakanainen, and Jones said he doesn't believe he's played poorly enough to be dropped from the rotation. It's frustrating when you think you're doing some things well, and you just keep getting taken out, Jones said. I just feel like I'm rotting away a little bit. And it's tough. It's really effing tough. I mean, I'm not a 32-year-old guy collecting a paycheck. I'm a guy who wants to earn my paycheck. I need to play. I need to have things. I need to improve in order to be a full-time player, and that's what I want to be. I want to be a guy who plays 82 games and be in the lineup every night. And here's the thing. Normally, when you talk about quote-unquote players with attitude, it's seen as a pretty bad thing in hockey. Like, just the way hockey fans perceive hockey players who start to get a little bit greedy. Oh, he's asking for more playing time. Look at that. What a bum. Why is he demanding more? Why is he not being grateful for what he's given, etc., etc.? There's sort of an archaic view that fans have towards hockey and its dynamics with the players and their requests. But the interesting thing about Zac Jones is, honestly, he's like 99.9% right. He's 24 years old. He's already kind of heading into the quote-unquote prime of his career. He's had some pretty good development in the NCAA and the AHL. Last year, he had decent point production, 9 points, 31 games, as a point every 3 games, pretty much. And this season, he's doing pretty much the same thing. But with the Rangers losing as much as they have been, to see Zac Jones continuously getting taken out of the lineup in the way that he has been, it's very questionable. It's tough. Really effing tough. I'm not a 32-year-old guy collecting a paycheck. I'm a guy who wants to earn the paycheck. That comment right there was so damning, and it's kind of indicative of what the Rangers have been presenting on the ice the past few weeks, that it's kind of, as a wake-up call? I don't know, a flash in the pan? This is a really big thing that Zac Jones went out there and spoke about. And to even say he feels like he's rotting away. What a phrase there. Jones has notched 8 points in 24 games this season with a +2 rating, but his underlying numbers aren't stellar since the Rangers began a miserable 4-15-0 run in late November. Despite the Blue Shirts owning a 40.17 even strike expected goals rate with Jones on the ice over that span, according to Evolving Hockey, his low-figure best Borgens and Vakanainens. Jones isn't the first Ranger to voice displeasure about the lineup choices during a dreadful run that's dropped him out of a playoff spot. Days before being traded to the Kraken, Kaapo Kakko said he was being used as a scapegoat when the club scratched him. And you gotta remember, after Kaapo Kakko made those comments, he got traded. Let's go over to the R Rangers subreddit and read some comments made by Rangers fans that seem to be mostly in agreement with Zac Jones and this evaluation of the lineup here. It's embarrassing how Peter Laviolette gives scrubs like Lindgren top minutes, but one mistake and Jones gets scratched. It's clear that Laviolette doesn't value Jones at all. I remember Caps fans sharing similar sentiments near the end of his tenure there. Just a total overcommitment to his veterans, no matter what. Another comment said, slightest criticism, straight to Seattle. Another young star player gone for scraps incoming. I'm so furious with this organization, man. Drury sucks, Laviolette sucks, and the crappy, whiny veterans suck. Rotten from the top down and no sign of hope or change in sight. I'm literally just rooting for a piece of cloth at this point because I hate so much of what we are this year. I already said it, but I'm pissed. Another instance of a young player getting completely shafted for no reason and calling it out. Zac Jones has literally been better than Lindgren this season despite playing exclusively with AHLers, while Lindgren has been handed Adam Fox on a silver platter and can't stay above water. Zac Jones obviously saw what happened to Kakko and wants the same fate. He has done literally everything he has been asked to do. He took his assignments to Hartford, worked hard, had a great attitude, sat in the press box the majority of last year, played really well this season, and he's still getting screwed. And again, people wonder why a pretty notable amount of young players don't want to be anywhere near this organization. The players that asked for trades or refused assignments to Hartford did so because they knew it didn't matter what they did. They were never going to be liked by this organization. I'll chime in here a bit with how bad this team has been, especially on defensive breakdowns. Zac Jones should not only be in the lineup, but he should be playing big minutes. Per Natural Stat Trick, Zac Jones has a 56% goals for percentage. Other left-handed D on the Rangers, Lindgren's at 43, Miller's at 41, and Vakanainen's at 33. Pretty gosh darn appalling numbers all around. And ultimately, I do think that the sentiment here, he's entirely correct. He's been solid. He had one off game and has been scratched. Yet Miller and Lindgren have been pretty atrocious and nothing. This bleeds into some of the bigger conversation points about the commitment to these veteran guys. One of the guys who is not a 32-year-old veteran just playing out the rest of his days on a paycheck. He wants to earn the paycheck, and thus, seeing him get super frustrated about his development is certainly understandable, and it's even, in this situation, correct.
So I want you to let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. All Watchmen talk aside, what are your opinions about the New York Rangers and how things have been going this season, especially with Zac Jones now saying that he feels like he's rotting away in the organization. I hope you enjoyed this video, 99, and bye.